Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, awesome. Okay, so it's my personal belief that one of the reasons why so many people have passed away from COVID is because once they got to the hospital, they didn't have visitors, so they weren't constantly reminded of what they were fighting for. So this is basically inspired by a story. Um, the nurses and doctors experience death almost daily, and it's really, really difficult. And so basically, this little girl was only invited in because her mom was going to pass away, not even from COVID, by the way. And she was only given 10 minutes to say goodbye. And obviously, within that time, there's too much shock, there's too much weakness, you don't really know what to say. So basically, this is from the perspective of any parent who didn't have a chance to say goodbye to their child. Here we go. I want to take a moment to apologize. Later in life, it seems that's all I ever seemed to do. I did my best to preserve as much of our memories as I could. There were so many times, had I been a little quicker or kept the camera a little closer, I would have recorded some incredible moments. But if I'm being completely honest, there were so many moments I didn't take the time to capture because those moments in time captured me. And as I lay in this hospital bed, each moment taking what could be my final breath, I've turned off my TV and try not to get overwhelmed by the numerous TVs blaring in the adjacent rooms. I use the beats of the EKG like a metronome and give myself some semblance of peace and solace. Here I have little access to where all the digital archives of our past are collected. I don't have the strength to peruse my phone for whatever recent photos or videos I may have stored, and these drab, sterile hospital walls don't have any of our photos on them. But thankfully, I can close my eyes and remember. Remember the first words you ever spoke? The first time you stood up on your own? The times you weren't right where I left you? The moment you mustered the strength and courage to swim to where I was? The day I sat in the car and cried on your first day of daycare? Hearing you tell me you loved me, and me immediately melting in front of you. But the beauty of our time together is that all the most precious memories are exactly where they need to be, in my head and in my heart. It is these treasures that keep my heart beating, that strengthen my lungs enough to breathe, that lift my spirits. But as I come to the last few pages of this photo album of our life, I want to thank you. Thank you. Thank you for feeding me, for holding me while I cry, for helping to carry me to bed, for holding me up when I was too weak to stand, for listening to the indistinguishable sounds I mistake for words, for being there beside me to provide a familiar face in a place filled with strangers. Felt like when you brought me to the hospital, it was like the day I brought you to daycare. In the last few moments of my life, here you are doing everything for me that I did for you in the first few moments of yours. Here we've come full circle in this very hospital where I first welcomed you into this world. Within these same walls is where you'll say goodbye to me. I love you. I'll miss you. And thank you.